And there it is, the NFL draft in the books, and an attendance record for the city of Detroit that smashed, absolutely smashed all the previous records. Over 750,000 people. That's through the gates. And Flannel, as I said, because I got asked a question a lot when I was down in Florida for work this weekend, they're like, how was it? I said, you don't even understand. Like, you hear 750,000 people. That was just through the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And as I like to say, we had 200 people bumping around where we were next to Comerica Park, and that was just the 313 draft party, like just us. Mm-hmm. There were hundreds of us around the city. There was over 1 million people there in that city.
For sure.
Easily.
There's probably 500,000 people there every day.
No doubt about it. And then Sunday when I flew home, when I landed, I counted just from the walk out of the gate to walking out of the airport to go to the parking lot, I counted 12, 15 different teams' jerseys that people were rocking and stuff like that. You heard the words that everybody had to say. And Flannel, look, it's corny. I know it's corny, but I've lived here my whole life. Again, I've told the story before. You know, son of 2 factory workers. I've seen what's happened to this city, and I get emotional about it. Like, I get goosebumps on my arms. I got it Thursday night being down there seeing it, and I'm so happy for my city. I'm so happy for us as people, because what happened this weekend here was a bookmark day for the city of Detroit. Oh, yeah. It wasn't oh, we're on the comeback. It wasn't that things are getting better. No, we are a national player. We are a real city. We're a big event city. We showed up. We showed out, and that can't be debated anymore. All that other bullshit is over. This is a national city, period, end of story.
By the numbers, it was the greatest draft day experience any city has ever had in any draft, especially since the draft has become more of an event as we got into the 21st century and all of that. And that in and of itself is spectacular. There have been drafts that have been held in New York City. That's where they used to be held every year. Chicago, which is a bigger city. But this was the best of them all. And you mentioned something at the end about how you're proud of the city and everything, and how you've seen it grow over the years. I'm, of course, not a native Detroiter, as everybody now knows. But my wife is, and my wife's parents are, my in-laws. And they decided to come out, I believe it was a Saturday night. Or no, it was a Friday. When I was working, and they kind of told me the exact same thing, that it was just, wow, the amount the city's perception has changed. The fact that they were able to hold a draft, it kind of got them emotional as well. And even just from my perspective, everybody that I met downtown was friendly. I got to talk to a couple of Woodward sports fans. Everybody was polite. It was always a good atmosphere. When you went, Packers fans were nice, like Vikings fans, no matter who you ran into, even Bears fans, Steelers fans, no matter who you ran into, it was just always a good vibe. You didn't really hear about any issues or problems arising or any of that. Me personally, I didn't have any problems parking. If you really wanted to, I don't think you would have a problem if you wanted to find a place to eat that maybe isn't super crowded or packed. And that just speaks to how big the city of Detroit is. So it was kind of the best of both worlds. If you wanted to get into the festive atmosphere, you could do that and enjoy the vibe. If you wanted to take a breather and go on the outskirts, get something to eat, maybe, take a load off, you could. It was a flawless weekend. There's nothing you can say about it that was negative, and that's a testament to the city of Detroit.
I think I had no question that it was going to be able to do it, because this is a city that was built to fit this many people.
Yes.
The infrastructure in this city is built to have this many people there, and it was awesome.
People forget that, Spenny, because that's a great point by you. Like, this is one of the largest cities I'm talking about like area, like one of the largest cities in America. People forget that.
Yeah, and the people are always great. I love Detroit people. I wasn't born or raised in Detroit or anything. I was born and raised in Centerline. Well, I was born in Detroit technically, but I was raised in Centerline. But it's
close enough.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna claim Detroit. It was awesome though. Just the people were so welcoming and accepting of others' fans. We saw that video of it. Steelers fans,
people from
Tennessee
England
fans. It's awesome, man. Detroiters are the best, and it was so good that all of the people on Twitter and in the social media game that talk shit about Detroit but have never been there can hold a fat L, because we just put on the best draft in the history of the NFL.
Doctero in the Woodward Sports chat thread, this ain't the same old Detroit. And that was the one I wanted to read because it's not. And here's what I love about this now. Here's what I love about it. We had the Super Bowl about 20 years ago, and it was almost like, the way I think that it was perceived, they're like, well, we'll just give this one to Detroit, and then we'll get it over with, and then we'll go on.
Yep.
I think with what happened here, the city showed that they can be in the rotation for college football championship. Now, that's a little tougher because it's January, and it's a weather thing. Like, let's cut the shit. Mm-hmm. Weather was good, though, good enough to get you through. It got chilly at night a little bit there, but by then, if you were partying right, that don't matter to you anymore. But with all that being said, that's what I love about it, because now you can't overlook what Detroit did. So now I believe that they get in the mix now to do a Super Bowl. They already have Final Fours.
Yep.
They've had that. We got another one coming up.
They talking NBA All-Star Weekend possibly.
Absolutely.
They need one of those.
They will get in the national rotation. And that's the missing piece, right? When your city is, quote, back, that's the missing piece. Is it somewhere where people go? Yes. The answer to that now is yes. Because of this stage. You're in life, you are only the opportunities that you are given, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We were given this opportunity, and we dominated it.
You can't ignore it. This is the thing that you can't ignore because of the numbers, because of the 175,000 plus people. The fact that you have people from like national media members, national big names that descended on the city of Detroit for the NFL draft. Radio markets from other cities because it is one of the most important events of the season. People who are fans of other teams who had probably never been here before, but just wanted to get that experience of watching their favorite team pick the player that could maybe help flip their franchise. There's no denying it anymore. And like I said before, unless I'm missing something, unless I haven't dug deep enough, I don't hear about any incidents or anything like that. It was just a good vibe. And I'm sure a lot of the people who maybe hadn't been here before, maybe even some of the national media people or hadn't been here in a while, probably had their eyes open a little bit to that. It is a great city. It's always been a great city, but now you just can't deny it anymore. When you put on something like a draft, which brings people from all parts of the United States here to the city of Detroit, and the fact that it went off so well, it's one of the most important events in the history of the city. Hard stop.
Yeah.
Hard stop.
That's it, man.
Yep.
I mean, it is. And once again, sports, by the way. Shout out sports.
Shout out sports.
Shout out sports, man.
Great unifier.
Yep.
And lots of chatter in the chat right now about there's only one larger event left to do.
Yes, sir.
Super Bowl
Already
parade.
done one.
Super Bowl parade.
Can you imagine?
Dude.
That was crazy. 750,000 downtown for the draft. Imagine if the Lions win the Super Bowl. They're going to shut the city down.
They burned the city to the ground.
Seriously.
I don't think we would, man. I think we got too much mo right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the people were incredible, man. So, hey, and KG, I drove by the Detroit sign yesterday on the way home from the airport.
What I tell you.
All intact.
What I tell you. Light's still working on that motherfucker.
Now, it was the morning, so, I couldn't speak to the condition of the lights.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Here's the one question I have, right? Because I did notice everything was extra clean down there. Mm-hmm. So, whatever that took to do
it more often.
Can we, continue to do that?
Thank you. How hard is it?
I'm just saying,
yeah.
I know it costs money and stuff like that.
And I know people shouldn't litter anyway, but as far as the government goes, why don't you clean up more? Come on, let's keep the city beautiful. The city has always been beautiful. People just didn't see it, man. We got a bad rap because of the crime rate and all that garbage. The city's been a great city for a long time, and I'm glad it's finally getting recognized. That's all.
It's so hard because you can't necessarily blame officials and government and whatnot for wanting this city to look its best and shine its brightest during this kind of an event. So by that standpoint, I can kind of understand how it's go into overdrive, making sure that this city looks good. But I agree with you, Neil. A little bit more energy into making it like that more often. But at the same time, I don't know if it's ever going to be quite that imperative, at least until there's a Super Bowl parade, if or unless.
Shad216 in the chat says, the Detroit sign does look nice with the lights on. The draft went so well that people are loving on the Detroit sign now. That's how powerful the draft was, everybody.
It's crazy.
KG, have you warmed up to it a little bit?
Hell no, they still
Come
did better.
on.
They still could have did better, man. Y'all could have put LEDs on the letters. It would have looked better than what it is. It's like, don't get me started on that.
It looks
But
good at
it's
night.
nice.
I'll say that. It looks good at night when it's lit up.
See? Come on. KG.
It could be better, but it looks better than it does in pictures.
Y'all
KG, is it passable at night?
Y'all put white lights on white letters. Do better, Detroit. That's all.
What are you trying to say, KG?
I don't like the white. No. There, I said it.
Just say it, KG. What do you really
Break me
mean?
down.